When people think of John Kinsey, you think of somebody that's actually there side by side farming with you. So he sees products the same way you do. The advances they make is stuff people actually use, not stuff that people think they need to have but isn't practical. It's stuff that you can use in your application.
I had this problem, as he and everybody else did, and he came up with a solution. This is old news, but the flat fold markers. Can't believe the grief we had with markers previously, and he eliminated all that. And not to mention folding planters.
The early Kinsey planters, and I was looking at them and thinking, boy, they look pretty good, the way they folded and stuff. And but then again, as I think what it means to me, I think about farmer invented. John Kinsey put this together and was quite innovative in his ideas in the early ones, and even today, they seem like they keep getting better.
He built the first one for Bob Walker. Interesting in this cart deal, because it was 50 years ago that we bought that first cart. And I happened to buy one of the first ones that was built in an actual production run.
With the new design of the 05 series planter, we expect to be able to run that planter longer without having to trade it because of the increased wear parts and stuff on them. For the entire time we've had Kinsey planters, we have never had to call the dealer for any major problems at all in the past 40 years.
I will tell you the best feature is that new monitor. It's the easiest thing I've ever had. I've used technology, used monitors, I use auto steer, all that, but that monitor, quite frankly, is the best I've ever seen. It's the easiest and most simple thing to run.
After I got used to the Blue Vantage just a little bit, it didn't take only just about 30 minutes at the max, and it was so much more user-friendly than the competitive one I'd been using. It was just night and day difference. And anybody that thinks they can't use it, it's easy. I'm 74 years old. I didn't think I'd have an issue of figuring it out. It's not. It's very simple. It's very, very user-friendly. Very.
Once we get acclimated to the new electronics, they are easier. They are easier to understand. It's an easier screen to read. Everything's under presentation of eyesight. Before there was different screens you had to flip through to try to find to understand what you were looking for. But yeah, very simple process. Very you don't get yourself into the point where you're locked into it, can't figure out how to get back out of it. So we've it's just fun. It's just because there's so much to offer that we haven't even tapped into yet.
I guess last spring I coined the phrase the fun factor. First of all, the computer stuff is simple, and second of all, it's easy to unfold the planter. And, third of all, it works. I'm not fixing, there's no downtime. Yeah, that's my fun factor.
With having a service background, I know how important it is for durability on the farmer's equipment, and now that I'm on the farming side of it, having that durability is phenomenal just for the amount of uptime that we have, and we don't have to worry about that cart or that cart breaking down. That is the least worried about piece of equipment. Running the cart my first year, honestly, I was pretty nervous about the joystick that controls everything on the cart, but after a couple of days, it was just like second nature. I didn't have to turn around and make sure what I was doing. I could just run everything from the joystick, and it made it a lot easier to run everything on the cart.
The first year we went with one Kinsey, and then the next year we transitioned into a second one, and we got 3 Kinseys in our operation now, so that says a little something that's the cart that we think is going to work for our operation.
The maintenance has been very low compared to our previous tillage machine, and so that's been really nice too. I mean, we're not popping bearings out, blowing bearings out every so often if you forget to grease one. And it's also efficient speed-wise. We go at least about 10 miles an hour through the field on average, maybe a little more. So it's been pretty reliable, and it's also pretty versatile. I mean, you can disc under heavy residue, or you can prepare a seed bed and it leaves the ground pretty flat. So
it's simple. It's very simple, and it's accurate. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do, and there's enough different settings in the depth control that you can fine-tune it pretty well. When you're going 8 to 10 mile an hour, it stayed in the ground. It was steady. It wasn't bouncing. There's nothing worse than an implement when you get going too fast. It starts bouncing, and it's hard to correct that. It takes years.
Kinsey has this 12-bottom plow in the factory, and he demoed that at the Ford Dodge Farm Progress show in the 1970 or something. I was there, okay? I was there, I seen that. And when the first, I don't know the number, but the first lift and span planter come out, it was at the Farm Progress show. And anyhow, all day they had a man, up, fold, back and down. I mean, all day this went on, and I bet at any one time there was 300 people standing there watching that. And we were just in awe of how this planter folded. And I mean, the struggles that we've had previous folding planters, and here is something so simple, and it's just like, I mean, it was just in awe. And you know what? Someday I'm going to have one of these. And so, I mean, it's just, I'm in no way as, the same caliber as John Kinsey, but our careers have paralleled that. He recognized the problems I had and had a solution.